Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Let me fix this here. So today, this is a really difficult video for me. I shouldn't do the video today, but I am. Today is a very emotional day for me because it's my stepson's birthday and I can't be there. And there's a lot of things that are unsaid about that on my side to you and on the other side to me. So yeah, okay. So if I have to pause this video a lot, that's what's gonna happen. This video is probably gonna be multiple parts long, and because of how long it is. So get ready for that. I think it's time that I become vulnerable with you guys. And that's gonna be very difficult for me. I mean, I'm normally very open, but there has been something that I've been keeping from you guys about my awakening process out of fear. Fear of upsetting the people that I love. I mean, of course, I'm not going to say everything. But, and also people thinking I'm crazy because they've never been through this type of awakening before. Because this type of awakening is not for the weak. And I say that now, even though I used to think I was weak. And now going through this process, I'm just a different type of human being. So let's get started. Just a reminder, this is going to be a multiple part video, so keep out for that. Normally when I do multiple part videos, I try to make sure that they are at least an hour long. But because of space and things like that, it's going to be more like 25 minutes long each part. So get ready for that. Okay, let's get started. So what I've been keeping from you about this awakening journey is that it's a twin flame journey. There, I said it. A twin flame is someone who, two people, they share the same soul, and they're meant to come together, and when they first come together, it's magic. It's everything. It's everything that you wished it would be. Everything you've ever wished a relationship would be. That's exactly what it is. And then at some point in your relationship, the bubble pops. In the twin flame community, we call that the bubble phase. When the bubble is still intact, everything is amazing. Everything is everything you've ever wanted. You might even be starting to heal in yourselves when you first meet. And then after the bubble pops, you start triggering each other back and forth. triggering on past wounds that literally have nothing to do with each other, honestly. It could be inner child wounds. It could be past relationship wounds. It could be anything. And there are people who have different reactions to this. Sometimes people will stay in the relationship and they will either one shut down, or one shuts down and the other doesn't, or they break up and get back together, break up, get back together. Now, I have a theory about the twin flame relationship. I'm not going to share that theory until it comes into fruition, because I have a job after fruition. So you start triggering each other, and then after you start triggering each other, the chaser, or not the chaser, the runner, who is the divine masculine, and keep in mind, you do not, gender has nothing to do with this. So a feminine can be a divine masculine, and a divine feminine could be a man. It does not have to be gender specific. It's about the energy. So someone might have more feminine energy, or they might have more masculine energy. And in the relationship I was in, I was the one who had more feminine energy. And she had more masculine energy. This is a lesbian twin flame journey. I don't hear very much people talking about lesbian twin flame journeys, so this is going to be a start. So of course the chaser, or not the chaser, sorry, the runner, which is the divine masculine, they will start to get extremely triggered by a certain time. And in my case, I was starting to get over the triggered part, except for before what most people call the separation. I call preparation because preparation is more accurate. And I got that term from another twin flame coach because it's accurate. Even though she only used it in one video, I really think she should implement it in all, because it's completely confusing when you say separation when it really isn't separating. So in my case, I was starting to get over the triggering part so aggressively. I think it helped that we both got sun. We were, I will say a little bit as I'm describing the twin flame journey before I go fully into it, which might be in this second video about my story. But we were driving to go see my mom. She was going to drop me off. I didn't want to go, actually, even before we started driving. I felt obligated because I was her daughter, but I also kept trying to tell my twin, I don't want to do this. I'm scared. I know she's going to do what she's always done. And she goes, shh, it's okay. And I'll explain why she said that in another video. Just keep in mind, the twin flame journey, you tend to do things without thinking, you do it unconsciously. And so, things happen that other people are going to be like, oh my God. That's why there are a lot of things that I'm not going to say. But on the drive up here, I had an aha moment. And I felt like she was glowing. It was like we were flirting back and forth. Finally, there was this spark starting to happen on the drive. And I was getting sun. My health was so bad. We were literally caving it out for almost a year and a half. And I was dumb and did not go outside when I could have because I was scared. I don't like going out in new places, like private places especially. Like, this isn't my property. I don't, you know, there's also energies there that I wasn't fond of, but yeah, I didn't want to go alone. And, you know, I kept asking for help, asking people to go with me. They wouldn't, but then later on would say, but we offered to go. You didn't though. And then, because if you guys would have, I would have went because I wanted to have family time. But instead, my children were literally escaping in their room, playing video games 24/7 like they're zombies, and I love them, but that's exactly what was happening. And today's their birthday. And I don't get to see them. I couldn't send them gifts because their mom wouldn't respond. Okay, I need to get focused here. So sparks were coming back on the drive. At this point, I knew more than anything in my bones, I did not want her to leave me there. I did not want her to leave me at my mom's. I didn't want to do it. I knew everything that was about to happen. And I just wanted her to take me home with her. And of course, there was trust issues on both sides. At this point, though, I trusted her more than I trusted her a week ago. And it was because I was so trapped in my own head, because I had created a prison that in my own head that wasn't accurate at all. So what was shown to me while I was in my own head literally was not accurate. And I think that's with everybody. Everyone can do that regardless if they're in a twin flame journey or not. But like, that's what happened. So then I was there for a night. And I'm going to be completely honest. My mother has always picked men over her children. She has been extremely non-caring about her children. She treats me like crap. Not anymore, because I completely cut her off and I refuse to have any contact with her. And I mean what I say. And she opened up to me about how she was obsessed with this sex offender that I knew because she used to be married to. And she was saying she was in love with him. She wanted to get back with him. She's been talking to him, all this other stuff. And she even went on to say that it was the child's fault. I immediately, and the child was 6, and he also molested my sister. So, of course, I was upset. Of course, my brain, and keep in mind I'm autistic. Of course, my brain went into crisis mode. And when my brain is in crisis mode, I do not think as clearly as I should. So I immediately went into crisis mode. And I'm like, I need to get out of here. I need to get out of here at least for 2 days, and then I can come back and assess the situation. I had money in savings, but within a very short time, those savings were gone quickly. And I had my son's dad come and pick me up and take me to the hotel. He brought a woman, and honestly, they should just be together. They were like, they have places at each other's houses. She drives his car, and I'm not triggered by that at all because there's literally no feelings there whatsoever. None. And if anything, he pisses me off. So, you know, they should just be together. That's what just should happen. They should just be together. And so basically he came pick me up. I was in the back seat. He helped me get my stuff to the hotel room. He tried to give me a hug. I swerved him. Like, you can't touch me. It got awkward as hell because I wouldn't let him touch me. And he's like, it's fine. I have to leave. I have some get together with friends. Bye. I'm like, bye. And throughout the 2 days, he kept trying to come over and hang out with me. And I kept faking sick so he wouldn't come over because I didn't want to ruin the chances of getting that second ride. But what I did by not allowing him to come over is he faked that his car was broken down so he couldn't help me. And so then that put me in worse crisis. But okay, let's back up and go back to the part of the story where hold on a second. She became extremely triggered. Like, she told me that I should tell her anything that were to happen or transpire, that if I ever had contact with my son's dad, that I let her know immediately. Well, when I tell you the beginning of the story and on of our twin flame journey, it will make sense why I didn't immediately tell her. But there was other things on top of that, like her hallucinating because of the drive, because she wasn't sleeping, and her specifically telling me she couldn't handle serious conversations. And on top of that, I wanted to make sure that I got the second ride out of the way before I told her, so that I could make sure that there was nothing hanging in the balance. I could just strictly say, my son's dad helped me twice with a ride. Nothing happened. It was innocent. But because I didn't immediately tell her right away, even though I told myself that I was going to tell her because I wanted her to trust me, she started questioning me about it at the peak of another crisis mode because I was stranded and I had no help. I was abandoned at a hotel with no help, no nothing. And I needed to be out of there like that very second, literally. And I could not walk the streets with all my stuff. I could not walk the streets with something that I had that I love the most, that was with me. And let's just say she started questioning me about it. I finally was like, fine, I guess it's the perfect time to tell her. She told me to tell her and everything would be okay. That's what, hold on. that's what I convinced myself, because that's what she said. I told her. She instantly freaked out. Said, why don't you turn around and kiss him? I was going to prove it via video, but that no one was there with me, but she blocked me. She had it in her head that I was cheating on her. And then the reasoning was, well, I lost trust in you. You should have been honest and you didn't. And you know, that's why I broke up with you. I only have a couple minutes, so I'm gonna say what I have to say, and then we can go to the next video. So then we backtrack. Let's backtrack to, because I only told you that part right away so that this makes sense. So close to a little bit before the preparation phase, divine masculines will start to get overwhelmed with energy, their twin flames energy, and they will start getting triggered, and you know, you guys might get in a huge fight, or it might be an amicable sorry, you know the word I'm saying, split, and then you activate the twin flame preparation phase, which is when you guys are broken up, even though you're not really broken up. It's more of a preparation phase that prepares you for the twin flame journey. Now, to go on your path to do what you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to heal and all this other stuff. There's so much crap out there that's not true, that are coming from several different twin flame coaches that keep people in loops and having a hard time, and that's horrible. So they activate the preparation phase. Then at some point, we don't really have control over this. And I will go into more detail about this in its own video much later. And then they come back into union. And when they come back into union, everything's amazing. Everything's good. We're supposed to be healed. But essentially, my theory says things that are a little bit different. So we can get into that in another session, just not these videos. So yeah. Now let's go to part 2 of this, where I talk about my story. And if you can't handle drama, I'm sorry, you don't have to watch it. Please like and subscribe. I will see you for the next video. Bye.